Good evening, guys and dolls, or maybe good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world, or if you're watching this on playback. It is a pleasure to have you here. I must start the stream with an apology for the next 90 minutes because I am absolutely loaded with cold. So I probably don't sound my usual self. So if you see me ducking off camera, it's probably because I'm hiding a cough. But I won't let that put me off. Hope you've all had a fantastic week. It feels like only 2 minutes ago we were here and it was Halloween, but we are now officially in the run to Christmas. And as Lego fans, that can only be a good thing. I was fortunate enough to be invited down to London by Disney this week, which I'm sure you're all aware of because I've splattered it all over my Instagram, TikTok, and now YouTube. Feel free to check out my YouTube vlog of my day in London, which was pretty fun. But yeah, it's time to start thinking about Christmas, I think. But aside from that, I've a couple hours ago just got back from seeing Eternals. No spoilers, of course, because I don't do spoilers on this place, but you know what, really enjoyed it. I've heard, not directly, but I've heard of people saying that they've heard of people kind of giving it grief, but I thought, I feel like it's totally unwarranted and it was really good. But I won't say too much on it because it's still very early in the Eternals lifespan. So we'll wait and give everybody an opportunity to see it because I'm sure everybody is going to want to see it. Before I bring out our guest this evening, as always, I just reminding you and letting you all know that this is an A-full stream. So with that, it typically can have more adult themes and references. It could just materialize in the case of the odd swear word here and there. We try to keep it curbed, but sometimes it's needed. Who knows what will happen? Usually I would be consuming alcohol, but all I have is Pepsi and water because I need to just be better because I'm sick of feeling sick. So there'll be no alcohol consumption tonight, I don't believe, unless our guest has some, but we'll find out in a sec. And I hope there'll be no public nudity this evening, but again, you never know. Who knows what's going to happen? But that is your kind of official warning. So let's get on with the stream and let me bring in our guest all the way from St. Louis, Missouri. Or is it St. Louis, Missouri? I guess we'll find out. I give you MiniCoolJessie. Jessie, good evening. Good day.
Hi.
Okay, let's settle that first. Is it St. Louis or is it St. Louis?
St. Louis.
St. Louis.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I know it as. But
You're right.
Okay, cool. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm all right, other than the sickness that I just described. Other ther than the cold, but I'm a man, so I have to talk about it at every given opportunity.
Right.
Because is one really poorly if the world doesn't know that you are poorly? Yep. That is kind of the man's mentality. But no, thank you for joining us and taking time out of your day. We talked about this in the setup for this. What time is it there today?
It is.
Clocks have been changing.
It's 2:00 here. So our clocks, apparently they go back a week later than your guys' do.
That's not complicated at all, is it?
No.
Especially when you're trying to host an international podcast on YouTube.
Especially because there are some states in the United States that don't practice daylight savings time.
Okay, so I thought this when I was trying to Google it. It's not like a one for all.
It's supposed to be, but there are some states that don't practice daylight savings time. I usually have a family Zoom every Sunday in the mornings, and majority of my family, they actually live in Arizona where they don't practice daylight savings time. So all of our clocks went back, but theirs just stayed the same, and it just made everything more difficult.
Nice. Just to keep it nice and interesting. This is the one. Oh, see, there we go. We've got Aiden in.
Yep, Hawaii doesn't practice.
I feel like Hawaii can do what it wants, right? Because Hawaii is a state on its own. And Aiden, correct me if I'm wrong, but Hawaii won't even be on Pacific time. It'll be on its own time zone compared to the West Coast. I would imagine that's the case. So we can kind of do
they're like a ways back than Pacific time.
Yeah, they're probably closer to like my time, but the other way round. Like, so, But yeah, it doesn't help. So good that we're all here, as we should be. How's your weekend been? What have you been up to?
Good. Let's see. Oh, what have I done? I went live on TikTok on Friday. I haven't been live in a little while, so that was a good change of pace. Saturday I didn't really do much. I went to the store, hung out. I made some really good chili today, though. It was really good.
Nice. How much did you make? Do you make like a big vat of it to like get you through the week?
Yeah. That's the only way to make it. Like anybody who's trying to make like a single serving, like you're doing it wrong.
I also find as well, chili is better like 2 or 3 days later. Like the day you make it, it isn't at its best because the flavors just have not.
They haven't marinated enough, but
exactly.
Like you can let it simmer for a couple of hours. That's what I've done today. And it also helps it like thicken, I guess, having it simmer for a couple of hours. A crock pot is preferred, but I unfortunately don't have one. So I just let it simmer on the stove since probably it's been like 2 or 3 hours that it's been simmering on the stove.
So this is one of those language things. A crock pot. We don't use it, but I'm familiar with it from like American TV. Is that what we would call a slow cooker? So you plug it in. Yeah. Okay, cool.
So we call them crock pots because that is the most familiar brand of slow cookers.
Got you.
But it'll literally say like it is a slow cooker on the box whenever you buy a crock pot. It's very similar to how we call all tissues Kleenex here.
Like and we call all vacuum cleaners here Hoovers for that reason. But yeah, good to know. Good to know. See, we're educating already. Yeah. No, good shout. What did you get up to on TikTok Live? Were you building or were you just?
Yeah, so I've been building the transport shuttle with the Knights of Ren.
Nice, the Night Buzzard. Although it's not called the Night Buzzard, but it's called the Night Buzzard in content. But it's one of those that Lego adopted.
Yeah, it's like Boba Fett starship.
Yeah. Let's not start a war. Let's not start an argument.
Right.
But no, it's it's one of them. No, it's a really cool thing that I don't know if it's officially retiring soon yet.
I think, retiring. I was watching one of Obi-Wan Kenobi's videos about all the retiring Star Wars sets, and that one is on the list.
Yeah, I might need to pick that up. I know the Knights of Ren collections because they're spread, aren't they, across is Kylo Ren's shuttle, Kylo Ren's TIE fighter, and then the Knights of Ren transport. They're quite sought after as a collection. So
I really like the minifigures on that. Like the coloring on them, it's like a really shiny like chrome.
Yeah, it's very similar to the Pearl Shadow Stormtroopers, like the concept ones they did several years ago. I've got a couple of those. It's a very nice, it's almost like a gunmetal gray, but with that pearlescent like effect to it. Yeah, they're nice, very nice. Did you finish it?
No, I'm like halfway done. I'll probably go live after this if I have the willpower to go and finish that.
I'm going to drain your essence, Jessie.
I'm actually an introvert, so like it takes a lot of energy out of me. Like I love talking to people. It's just instead of filling the social battery, it drains it.
Well, you could have a lie down, and then you could have some chili, and then you could go live. What
Absolutely.
What a deal. How is your backlog? Do you have much of a backlog in Lego wise to collect?
It's mostly whittled down. I have one Lego, and you can see it like right here behind my SNES box, and I just have the light cruiser left.
I mean, it's a good one to have left, that's for sure.
I know, I've been holding off on it because I need to get a taller shelf to put here in place of this. Because right now I just don't have anywhere to put it.
Yeah, I mean, I have approximately 10 to 12 sets down there, and that's exactly my problem. I just have nowhere to put them. Which is, I think that's a bigger problem for AFOLs. I think that's a bigger problem than money, because we can always make more money, but it's difficult to make space.
Well, it's extremely limited. Like, I'm in a 2-bedroom apartment, and this is my combination room. So it is not only my Lego room, it's my Pokemon room, Funko Pop room. It's the space that I work, and it's also the space for all of my cat things. And it's one room.
So is that almost like your cat's bedroom then?
Not necessarily her bedroom. She sleeps with me at night, but like her litter box is in here, her food is in here, her water bowl is in here. A lot of her toys are in here. And I'm just running out of space.
Cats seem to enjoy knocking Lego off shelves. Is that
not her? No, she's never really been big on knocking like my Legos off my shelf. If she gets into anything, it's usually like whatever I have on the bottom shelf, and it's just like a couple of like collectible plushies. That's it.
Oh, well, that's not too bad.
We
were talking about this beforehand, so let's talk about it now. What's the deal with Lego collectors and cats? There's a direct correlation, right?
I don't know what the deal with that is. You would think that as Lego collectors, we would choose an animal that doesn't like to knock things off of shelves.
Yeah.
You would think. But yeah, I noticed that a while ago when I first really got onto Lego TikTok, was that, I would pop into like Cool Guy Dom's live, and he'd have his cat. And back when Brickin' Up Brad would go live a little bit more, he always had his cat. Maddie has her cat. Z-Man has his cat. I have my cat. Everybody's got a cat. I don't know what it is.
Not me. I don't have a cat, but I have a dog. It's I don't know if it was like over a short period of time, but exactly that, when you're on lives, you would skim through and you'd be like, why is there a direct correlation? Who knows? Maybe they kind of solve the same problem in very different ways, but who knows? But
it could be an American TikTok thing. Just saying.
I'm trying to think from our side. Nobody leaps to mind, but my mind isn't as sharp as it has been right now. So who knows? But yeah, I'm just thinking of like sponsorship opportunities. I wonder if there's like an affiliation between cats and Lego. Probably not. Probably not. But yeah. But you said Pokemon. Last week was Halloween. You got dressed up as Pikachu, right?
Right. Originally it was actually supposed to come with like the stickers for the cheeks, and I got ripped off. I was kind of bummed, but I still made my own rosy cheeks, but I was looking forward to the glitter stickers.
Oh, okay. So I thought they looked pretty cool, but it's that thing. Obviously, I didn't see what it was meant to be, but it's that expectation. Where did you get it from?
I went to this Halloween store downtown in St. Louis. A friend of mine she's like way more into Halloween than me, and she ended up going as the receptionist from Beetlejuice, and she dressed up her corgi as Beetlejuice.
Right. Did it work? Was it good?
Oh, it did. It was very cute. But I saw the Pikachu costume for like $20. I'm like, well, I can reuse that. That's pretty cheap. And so I just picked it up just because.
Nice. So you've got Star Wars, because you're wearing your Star Wars t-shirt, and we've talked about it. Your Pokemon, because of the Pikachu stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I know you said Funko, so you collect Funko and you collect Lego, but
I've actually got my Funko right here too.
Oh, nice. I got my first Funko this week.
Your first Funko?
I'm not really a Funko okay.
But yeah, I have a little like wall like right off screen here.
Yeah, I'm not really a Funko person. Not anything against it. It's just haven't really paid it much attention.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously with Lego, when you buy Lego, you then get the ability to build it, and it takes up time, and it has that kind of added benefit. But like with Funko, you don't get that. But I got that Grogu with
the child with the frog.
I got it free. So along with, of course, the Ewok plushie.
Yes.
Must be destroyed. But yeah. So what franchises do you collect from, or what other franchises do you enjoy outside of Star Wars and Pokemon?
I really like to play video games, so I do have all of the Tomb Raider Funko Pops, and I've also got a couple of the Stranger Things Funko Pops, and also from The Office. So I've got some of those. Let's see.
Do you have the Stranger Things Lego set? Because that's due to retire.
No, but I want it so bad.
It's one of those that I think a lot of people really like and have been kind of, I need to pick that up, but not yet. Like I'll get to it. I'll get to it.
I know, and then it's gonna retire, and I'm just gonna be screwed. So
yeah. And I think it'll be really expensive when it does retire as well, especially with
all those minifigures. They have so many minifigures in that set.
Yeah, it's a great set, and I do think, should I pick it up? I don't know.
That's kind of how I am with the NES set. I really, really want that set, but it's just one of those, like, I don't have anywhere to put it right now, and then it's so much money, and all that. I also really want the question block, the N64 question block. That one looks really fun.
Yeah, I didn't think much of that, but then I saw Epic Bricks doing both his live and then his series of videos where he was showing you like all of the hidden stars using Mario and Luigi around the.
Oh yeah, it totally made me want to pick up a Mario, like just to have it do the little star thing. That is so cool.
I was like, should I get that? But it's one of those that it's not high on my list. And it's just come out, so I just think I've got a year, 18 months, don't need to worry about that. But then it'll be a year, 18 months down the line, and you're like, I didn't get it, it's retiring, what do I do? I'm guessing you're going to be looking forward to the Office set then.
Oh my gosh, yes, I am so excited about that. Oh, speaking of sets like that, I do have another set on my backlog, and it's the Friends Central Perk set. I got it secondhand, and I've been cleaning like the bricks, wanted to like by color. And I just haven't finished cleaning them yet, so that is technically on my backlog too.
Cool. I still haven't picked that set up. I do feel
it's very cheap now. Like if you look on Mercari for that, it's going for like maybe $20, $25.
Yeah, we see it here for like every time you go on Facebook Marketplace, there is one for sale, and probably about half price. So yeah, it's readily available.
Yeah, I think what happened is there were a ton of like non-Lego people who bought that set specifically because they like the TV show. And then they found they just didn't have the space for it or didn't want it anymore, and now they're selling it.
Didn't it release quite early in COVID as well? So
it did. So it was a COVID thing.
Yeah.
Now it's not COVID, and they don't need it anymore.
Yeah, they see this block of plastic gathering dust, and they're like, "Yeah, I don't want that." Yeah, I wonder if Lego didn't have their finger on the pulse with that, because then they released the apartment set, and I wonder if they released
that one too.
Well, I would love that one, but I wonder if they released the apartment set because of how well Central Perk did, and thought, "Oh, we can do another set out of this." But all of those people are a bit like, "Nah, I don't need it. I'm trying to sell my Central Perk now." Who knows?
I mean, it doesn't really matter to Lego though, because they still made the sale. You know?
Yeah, but I do wonder, will they be stuck with a lot of the apartment sets that they can't get rid of? I suppose they'll always get rid of them. They'll just kind of, it may not do as well as they hoped because they might be basing it on how well Central Perk did.
Yeah, but they also did start that, like a bunch of new like TV show sets have now started coming in. So we got the Queer Eye set, we've got the Seinfeld set, the Office set. And then if you look at the Lego Ideas page, there's a ton of other like Lego sets that are based off of TV shows. So like there's a Brooklyn Nine-Nine one in there. There's a Big Bang Theory one in there. And so I think those are really starting to like take hold of Lego now, because that's something that anybody can really get into.
I didn't know. I knew about the Big Bang one. I didn't know about Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I didn't know that had come out. Is there a set, especially now The Office has been released, is there a TV show that you would like to see made into an ideas set?
I don't know if anybody's done it, but the Parks and Rec one would be really cool. I looked on Lego ideas. I don't know if there's one in there, but I think that would be a good fit for Lego, is to do the Parks and Rec like department.
So I know what Parks and Rec is, but I'm sure it is a thing over here, but it's nowhere near as big over here. But it's like, it's big in America, right? Like,
it's huge in America. It was basically like after The Office stopped filming, it took place at The Office.
So is it part of the Office universe, or did it just
No, it just kind of took the like the population's interest, basically.
Is it still going?
No, it stopped in a couple of years ago, like 5 years ago or so, something like that.
So what took its space? What is like the hot comedy show right now? Because like it feels like everything's finished, right? Obviously, Big Bang's finished.
I think Brooklyn Nine-Nine is still going. It's pretty popular right now.
Yeah, never watched it. It's on. I could watch it. Never watched it. Should I? I don't know.
I don't know. I've seen bits and pieces of it. It looks funny. I've seen clips and I thought they were funny. It's just I haven't gotten into it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Star Wars, though. Obviously, you're a big Star Wars fan, because as you can see with your T-shirt on there. What I always ask this, because it's like everybody always has a different answer. But like, what is your journey as a Star Wars fan? Like, where did you come into it? Like, and what kind of where have you gone through your kind of? Because we all go through a bit of a love-hate journey with it as well. Like, what's kind of been your time with Star Wars?
All right. Well, my dad is a boomer, so he watched Star Wars when it came out in theaters, and naturally he passed that on to his children. So I grew up with Star Wars. I grew up with sci-fi in general. My mom likes to brag to people that my brother and I are both dorky children because we were both born to Star Trek. Not even like it was on the TV. Both kids being born, Star Trek. But I grew up with Star Wars, grew up with Lego too. Like we had a ton of Lego growing up that I would build and play with and like build little spaceships. And we got Star Wars sets with that. Mainly as a little, like, 5 to 8 year old, I was mainly just interested in the minifigures. In 2007, my dad actually bought us the Motorized AT-AT set, like brand new when it came out. It was the one set he would not let us destroy as children. But yeah, and then teenage years, you think you're just too cool for everything.
Yeah.
Especially like teenage girls, they think they're too cool for everything, and I'm no exception. But then, I'm definitely like a COVID like Lego TikToker. Like Z-Man got me back into Legos, and it was with the Sith Infiltrator, the 99, that got me back into Lego.
I mean, that's a good set to come back in on.
It was a great set. It came with the Darth Maul minifigure, and it's awesome. It's a really cool minifigure to have.
So how big is your collection right now?
I mostly have a lot of like play scale sets.
Yeah.
And it's mostly like the newer Lego. So like the Mandalorian era is mostly what I have.
It's a good era of Lego, that's for sure. It almost kind of, I think the sequel, regardless of what you think about the sequels, I don't think the sequel Lego sets were particularly great. There are some shining lights in there, but I think there was a lot that didn't really do very well. But I think the Mandalorian came along, and obviously the merchandise across the Mandalorian was brilliant. But they really fit the Lego side of it really well, which is cool. How did you then go? So I think a lot of us like did that. We kind of got back into Lego, ramped it up, got back into Star Wars, like at an obsessive level, ramped all that up, then found ourselves on TikTok and online.
Mm-hmm.
What is your TikTok journey, especially as an introvert?
So originally my TikTok, I had planned it to just be a cat account. Would not have my face in it, would just be of the cat. And that's what I had planned for it, you know, like as getting into TikTok, like during the pandemic. And then Z-Man talked me into getting a Lego off of Bricklink just to have something to do, because he had started doing that. And
he's got a lot to account for, hasn't he?
Yeah, we started doing TikToks around the same time.
Okay.
But yeah, so I posted like something of my build on TikTok, and it got a lot of views. Like Epic Bricks commented on it. A lot of the bigger names like Block Studios commented on it too. And I'm like, okay, well, that's pretty successful. Like I got about 8,000 views on that as somebody who only had like maybe 100 followers or 200 followers. And to me at the time, that was a lot. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, I have fun doing this, so maybe I should just keep doing it. And here we are.
How long did it take you to go live from kind of starting to post? Did you jump on lives as soon as you hit that 1,000 followers, or did it take a while for you to hit that button and be like, okay, I can go live now?
Oh, it took me a little bit to actually do it.
It's a weird concept, isn't it, going live? Like, I can't imagine before the pandemic that I would ever do anything like this. But then I sit here now and I'm like, yeah, it's fine. Just interesting, because I'm naturally extrovert. Like, my wife will tell me that. She's like, you'll talk to anyone.
That's the thing is, like, I am like, I like going up to people, you know, like I'm still like a not like an extrovert, but just someone who's like, you know, what's the word? There's a certain word for it. Where you're like just willing to talk to people, but at the same time, it's like, okay, I'm done now.
Yeah,
I did it.
Yeah, I think that's probably more like my wife. She's like, where I'll just kind of sit and talk forever. She's like, no, we're done. Let's go. How have you? I'm always interested to find out about this, because obviously I'm in quite a fortuitous position as a kind of a white male on social media. It's quite easy to like be it, and obviously as adults, and people try and give you a bit of grief every now and then about, you know, you're still building Lego, or you still like, I've fortunately never really had any of that. But what's kind of your experience of like the dark side of TikTok being? Do you get much grief? Do you get people creeping on you? Or
So for me, it's not really about, you know, like, you know, you're building Lego at blah 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 age. It's not even the fact that I'm a girl doing it. It's definitely more creeps. Like in our, you know, some of the Lego TikTokers have seen some of the comments that people post, and they will post a reply to them. So there's quite a bit of those on my TikToks and also in my direct messages as well. And at first it bothered me a bit, and then I just kind of, you know, you have to either laugh it off or just stop what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's not really any other choice, because like they're just wanting to get a rise out of you, or they're actually wanting you to talk to them, and so on. And you just kind of have to just let it go. Otherwise, you're just not going to get yourself anywhere.
Yeah, it's so disappointing though, because I remember when, you know, I did one of those videos, and it was actually a hilarious trend. It was a great way of dealing with it, because it's kind of, what do? Do you block them? Or if you block them, like, they don't really like, they don't get it. It's almost like they see you as the enemy. So you're like, you know, it's like what do you do? But I think the way that you dealt with it, by reaching out across the community and said, like, can we have a bit of fun with this? And I remember some of the posts and going into the comments, and a lot of the people actually were like, okay, you got me, sort of thing. And I feel like that's a really good way of doing it, because it almost makes them look at themselves and think, Yeah, it probably was a bit creepy there. Like, I shouldn't do that, should I? But
Yeah.
hopefully. And then, if anything, it should hopefully put the next person off. But I'm sure you're going to tell me that you still get comments like that to this day.
Oh, absolutely. They're a dime a dozen. They really are. And then the thing is, there's a difference between, being flattering but courteous, and being creepy about it. And it's really not that hard to find the difference. Like, there's plenty of my followers, because I have a majority male followers. Like, it's 90% men.
Me
but
too.
It's but it's pretty easy to just be like, hey, you look great today.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's all you got to say. But then some of them take it a step further, and that's when it gets to be a little off-putting.
Indeed. Is TikTok your primary platform? Or,
yes.
And I know you're on Instagram, but is Instagram more for you and like friends and family, or are you starting to use your Instagram to accompany your TikTok presence as well?
I would say it's mostly for me, but I have had to substantially and significantly clean up all of my social medias due to the nature of a lot of my followers. So I had to extremely shut down my Facebook pretty much.
Oh, really?
Everything that is on it is extremely private. I had to remove my last name from pretty much every platform of mine.
Oh, that sucks.
I mean, it is what it is. It's fine. My Instagram hasn't really been affected. But I removed my last name from my Instagram, my Twitter. It wasn't ever on TikTok, but because it was on those platforms, people would start finding me on Facebook. And that to me wasn't okay, just because my Facebook is absolutely just for friends and family. I've started changing a little bit of the way I change on the way I post on Instagram. But it's definitely more just to update my life and stuff like that. I am primarily on TikTok.
What would you when you think of the good side of it all, though, and thinking going forward, what would you like your TikTok to be for you? Where would you like it to take you? Do you have plans? Do you think about it that way, or are you very much just riding a wave?
I'm just riding a wave, really. It makes me happy. I like making other people laugh. I never in a million years thought I would ever post on a social media platform and actually have any sort of following at all. It surprised me when anything I did on TikTok would get substantial views at all. And it's just kind of weird. Being an introvert, you just don't really expect yourself to do stuff like that.
Yeah, I think even me being probably my a generational thing for me. I feel like a lot of kids, it's amazing how when we see all the kids, and obviously being in the Lego TikTok community, we see so many kids who are so comfortable just picking up a phone at the age of 11, 12, even 13 upwards, and just creating content and putting it out there. But I think for me, being kind of a millennial, none of this existed for me growing up. So I've then kind of, it's been introduced, but at a point where I understand it, rather than kind of the generation before us who were already done with it before it came out. So I'm all right, okay, I get it. But I remember when YouTube was impossible to make content for. You had to have a studio to make content. Now it's so easy. Yeah, it's a weird concept, but I think it's a good thing to just be able to have that confidence to do it, and who knows where it will take you. But looking forward, there are no restraints on this question, so it's whatever comes to your mind. But what are you most looking forward to of all of the things that are coming? What are you most looking forward to? Let's see, over the next 12 months. So I'm thinking Star Wars content, Marvel content, Lego sets. This there are no restrictions.
I'm looking forward to the new UCS set.
The AT-AT? The worst kept secret in Lego history?
Yep.
Like, how have they not announced that yet? Like, seriously.
Everybody knows it's an AT-AT. I don't know what's holding them back.
We've seen the box. Like, I don't think we've seen a build, but we've seen the box.
Mm-hmm.
Will you get it?
Oh, absolutely. Like, I think that'll absolutely probably be my first UCS set. I don't have any right now. But I am really interested in that one.
That over the Falcon or the Star Destroyer?
Well, also the AT-AT, I don't think it's going to be as expensive as the Star Destroyer or the Falcon.
No, I think it is. I think it's $800.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I thought it was going to be like $400.
Sorry, I feel like I've just
broke your swing it. If it was $400, I could swing it. But if it's going to be $800, then I'd probably get either the Falcon or the Star Destroyer over that then.
Well, that was my thinking, because I know you said you had the play sets.
Mm-hmm.
I can see the Falcon kind of behind you in a small.
Yeah, I just got that used. It's the Episode 7 Falcon.
Okay, yeah. There's no bad Falcon, right? Like, they're all good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm intrigued. Sorry, I feel like I broke your heart. But yeah, our resident UCS expert, Aiden, wishes it was 400. Of course you do, Aiden, because I know you'll be rushing out to get it. But
he's probably going to get 2.
Probably. But yeah, I mean, what I'm really interested in, because I have, you can't see it, it's just that it's actually looking like a cat right now. It's like doing the cat pose bow. The 2020 AT-AT. But I'm really interested to see how they keep the UCS one stable, because it's going to be big and it's going to be fairly heavy. But do they stabilize it by removing maneuverability? So with that one, the knees bend and it moves around. Is it just going to be a rigid? Because it can be. It could just be a rigid piece, but is that how they're going to do it? And who's going to be the first one to have a cat or something knock it off the shelves?
Oh, that would be a sad day.
Because it's going to be vulnerable sat up there. But yeah, it's I'm interested to see how well it's snapped up. I suppose there'll be a lot of people out there who do get like the D1 purchases and will go and get it, but it's a lot of money to spend just before Christmas, and it's a lot of money to be asking for something for a Christmas present. So I feel like a lot of people will be buying it will be for themselves. What about like TV film wise? Because we were talking before this, and as I said at the beginning, I've just been to see Eternals. You're a Marvel fan, but you haven't seen Eternals, which is obviously cool because it's literally just come out, but you haven't even seen Shang-Chi either. So where are you up to with the whole MCU? Like, what was the last thing you watched?
Last thing I watched was Loki on Disney.
Okay.
So I watched Loki. I watched WandaVision. I haven't seen the Falcon and the Winter Soldier yet.
No. It doesn't. So I enjoyed the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but it doesn't feel like it's something you have to watch right now. I'm sure at some point you will. I suppose it ties in a little bit to Black Widow a little bit, like it crosses over a little bit with that, but it's not desperate to go and see it. But so okay, so are you a Spider-Man fan?
Yes, Spider-Man's my favorite.
So here's the question, right? Because this is where my like OCD kicks in.
All right.
But are you going to go and see Spider-Man without seeing Shang-Chi and Eternals potentially? Like, would you go and do that?
Probably. In all honesty, probably.
Oh, what? What? Oh, that is like, that makes my brain itch. But okay, that's cool. It's I can kind of understand it, but yeah, it's so Spider-Man particularly something you're looking forward to.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Who's the Spider-Man you grew up with, and which is your favorite Spider-Man of the three?
So I grew up with Tobey Maguire. Tom Holland is my favorite, and here's why. So Toby is the perfect Peter Parker. He does great. He's awesome. Andrew Garfield was the perfect Spider-Man. Amazing wit. He was funny. He was really good and just doing all the stunts for Spider-Man. And I just like that movie. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Was he a good Peter Parker though? No. He was way too handsome to be Peter Parker. But Tom Holland, I feel like, brings together both qualities in a way that meshes well, and that he can be both a good Peter Parker and a good Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And that's why he's my favorite.
So do you have then a basis for Spider-Man that you compare that against? Because I would actually agree with that, but I would compare that back to like the mid-90s animated series, which
that's kind of that's my comparison.
Okay. Yeah. So I totally get that. Yeah. It's okay. Yeah, I like Tom, and I like what they did with Tom. It was a bit different. Like it was different. Like the approach has been different. And obviously, the MCU has all really helped. Okay, then. So,
well, that, and also in Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man movies, they made the webs come out of his wrists like a mutation, and that's not what happened.
Yes. Yeah.
And that always bugged me. Always bugged me. Didn't like it.
Did they do that with Tom?
He has the mechanical contraptions, very similar to how Andrew had.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. No, that's a good point. I've never thought about that, but you are right. Toby does have that mutation style, that because he does the whole go web scene where he's trying to figure it out. Yeah, no, I agree with you, and I do think I would agree. I think maybe Toby was a little bit overdone. I remember Spider-Man 3. It's very popular now because of Bully Maguire and all that, but I don't think it's never really been seen as a great film.
No.
It's just very memeable. But I feel like Tom is popping out kind of consistently great films. But if we go back to that animated series, if that's because that is my basis of, and this is why I get really excited now. Have you seen the Morbius trailer with Jared Leto or Leto?
If I did, I only saw a piece of it. I don't think I've seen the trailer.
It's quite a short trailer, but I believe it's due out in January. So they're kind of leaving it very late. It's only just come out. But that's Michael Morbius from the animated series, who he becomes a vampire. And they're talking within the trailer, kind of some spoilers, but it's not spoilers really. But there's this whole question around, because again, it's the worst kept secret, right? That Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are coming in and all of that. But they're saying well, which Spider-Verse does he exist in? And they're tying it back to Andrew Garfield. So apparently there are commonalities between the trailer and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. So potentially we're going to have that third Andrew Garfield film. Who knows? Who knows? I have no idea what's going to happen, but it's I think they're working on quite a bit from that animated series. Obviously Venom's hot right now. Have you seen Venom?
I saw the first one. I haven't seen the second one.
What were your thoughts on the first one?
It was okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't my favorite.
I would imagine your reaction, because I felt the same. Your reaction will probably be the same for the second one. Everybody went to see the second one.
Well, that's kind of what I heard, and it just kind of put me off of it, and it's made me, there are other things I should be doing.
Yeah, but there's that post-credit scene, which I won't talk about, but other than you really want to go and see the post-credit scene. And I feel like a lot of people
went. Google it, really.
You could, but it's all right. It's not a bad film, but or you could probably wait for it to come on somewhere, but it's looking good. But yeah, I'm interested to see what they do with the Spider-Man stuff going forward, because then I have no idea what's coming after that. So from a Marvel perspective, do you have Marvel Lego?
I actually don't have any. I have like the Marvel CMFs,
Yeah,
but
have you finished it?
that's it. I have one left. It's Zombie Cap.
I feel like that was a really easy one to get in America. I feel
Not
like everybody had like 4 of them.
Nope, not here. I had to. The most common one I've gotten here has been Star-Lord T'Challa. It's the most common one I've gotten.
Right.
And also, who else did I get a lot of? I got a lot of Sylvies.
When you say a lot, how many of these figures have you picked up?
I ended up I sold my duplicates to a local shop. I got a pretty good deal for them. I had 4 Star-Lord T'Challas. I had 2 Sylvies, and I had a Monica Rambeau, a Bucky, and a Captain Carter.
Nice. So when you went to the shop and you sold them,
Mm-hmm.
did you not have the option did they not have a zombie cap?
No.
Damn it.
I know. Well, it's like I could have gone to another local Lego place that we have around here. It's just I know they would have been charging like $8 or $10 for that zombie cap.
Where is your? St. Louis must have a Lego store, right?
So we have a Lego store. It's in one of our malls, and it's actually like Lego store. We also have a very similar to like Bricks and Figs, I think, in Atlanta. We have something similar called the Mini Fig Shop nearby. And that's the place that I feel like they'd probably be overcharging on the minifigures for. But I also have, there's another little toy store not too far from me. They mostly do like Funko Pops and collectible figures. But they also have like a little Lego cabinet, and they also do stuff like that. And so that's where I sold the duplicates, because they gave me like $4, or not even $4, but it might have been like $3 a piece for them. So that was a pretty good deal. They gave me $3 a piece, and they're going to sell them for $6 when market value is $5.
We have nothing like that here. Like, there is no set other than obviously like Bricklink, and then like online retailing. There is no secondary market for Lego whatsoever.
Like no brick and mortar shops?
Nope, nothing.
That's so sad.
It is, because it'd be a great place to go and check out like retired sets.
Oh my gosh, that's the best thing about the minifig shop. I saw you posted Z-Man's comments about it. It has so many retired sets there, and just used sets in general. And just they have like 2 glass cases like just dedicated to minifigures. And like the thing is, they don't have any fakes there. That's the best part. It's like nothing in there is fake. So something that we run into here is if you go to some antique malls, there can be quite a few like Lego compatible minifigures, but they're fake Lego basically. But nothing in that shop is fake. It's all authentic.
Nice. I mean, Brixton's in here saying that there's one a couple of towns over from him. Brixton, that must be the only one in the UK. Oh, there can't be many of them. I've definitely never seen one. Like, the only time we ever see them is like in charity shops, which like secondhand stores, and like when they don't know what they have, but like even they know what they have now. Like they know that Legos, and they probably overprice it because they think it's worth more than what it is worth. But yeah, I've been to America a couple of times, but I've never gone like secondhand. I'd love to go to a store like that, and hopefully I'll come back. But
well, if you come to St. Louis, we've got a couple stores like that. Just saying.
So St. Louis is quite a tourist resort, right?
Yes and no.
I feel like it's quite like held up in lights quite often. Like I know you have that arch, right? The arch is really common. That arch, right? Okay, so we love a quiz show in the UK, but like a very a very kind of like well-to-do quiz show, not like a comedy quiz show. We take our things very seriously with quizzes over here, but quite often when it's a picture round, they will show the arch of like St. Louis, but like everybody knows what it is, and I only know what it is because it's on every other quiz show. But I feel like with that, St. Louis is quite well known for that, and I do think, well, do a lot of people travel into there?
Yes and no. So Americans don't really come to St. Louis for touristy reasons. If they're going to go somewhere touristy, they're probably going to go to Orlando, Florida, New York City, Chicago, or LA. Those are usually the really big touristy cities that I can think of that most people will go to. Some of the people in the Midwest, they will also go to Nashville, Tennessee, if we're going for somewhere touristy. But I don't think of a lot of people come to St. Louis to tour it.
Okay.
Z-Man, I think he's still in here, but I think he'd agree with me. It's not really super touristy here.
Like, what would be like your cuisine there? Because that's the good thing about America. You travel around America, and every kind of state or region has good food, but very kind of relevant. They have their own dishes or cuisine. Like, what is the cuisine of St. Louis?
Probably some of the most well-known things are our pizza shop Emo's. So it's a thin crust pizza, and it has its own cheese. It's called Provel. And so Emo's pizza is really well known here. Also toasted ravioli. So contrary to the name, it is not toasted, it's fried, but it's basically a ravioli that's deep fried, and you dip it in marinara. Also, gooey butter cookies and cake are famous.
I'm seeing the attraction now. I'm really seeing the attraction.
A gooey butter cake and cookies are very, very good. It's made with like a yellow cake and a ton of butter, like a ton of butter. But they're very good, and they're usually topped in powdered sugar, and you can make chocolate and red velvet varieties as well.
Nice. This sounds fantastic.
It's very good. What else is St. Louis? I'd say probably Emo's and toasted ravioli and gooey butter cake are the most famous things.
Nice. Nice indeed. When you travel, where do you go around America?
Primarily where I go is I'll go to Colorado pretty frequently because I ski. And one of my relatives owns a condo in Colorado.
Nice.
I'll also go to Arizona pretty frequently because I have a lot of family out there, and so I'll travel out there pretty frequently.
Okay, cool. Have you done Vegas?
I've not been to Vegas.
Because Vegas is not far from Arizona, right?
Like Vegas is like it's like the neighboring state, but where I am in Arizona, it would be like a 6 or 8 hour drive to Vegas from there.
Yeah, like so. This is like the difference.
It's like you can travel all of the UK in like 8 hours, right?
Yeah, pretty much. That's we think of it as a state, and like because like states are equivalent. Like our counties, a county will take about 40 minutes to drive across.
I mean, we do have counties.
You do, but it just holds the system. It just the sheer expanse of America shows in that respect.
Yeah, Missouri has like, I don't know, like 40 counties or something like that.
Yeah, but we probably have like 40 counties in the UK. But Brixton's asking if you've ever been to Europe, and if not, where would you like to go?
I have never been to Europe. I've actually never been out of the country. Cross my fingers, I'm going on a cruise next December, and I will be going out of the country. Yay me. If I could go anywhere in Europe, I probably want to go to. Are we limiting myself to the continental Europe?
No, and let's not even say Europe. Let's just say like the world. Like, where would you like to travel to?
If it's Europe, I'd have to say Italy, just because the food there is really good. I'd like to visit there, and I'd like to visit the Colosseum. If we're talking the world, I'd really like to go to Peru and go to Machu Picchu.
Nice. I'd love to go down to South America,
Mhm.
but it's never been there. I've been to Italy. I haven't been to Rome. I haven't been to Rome, but the food is brilliant in Italy. It's if you're going for food, I would also recommend Barcelona.
Mhm.
Barcelona does fantastic food as well. It's I think it's a bit slept on, but it's in the harbour. It's like by the sea, so it has great seafood in that regards. But so where are you going on your cruise?
One of my family members is getting married December of next year, and they're getting married in Puerto Rico. So the cruise leaves from the tip of Florida, and we're going to be going to Turks and Caicos, Puerto Rico. There's another island in there, not Jamaica, but like one of the others. And so a week-long cruise, and I'm really excited. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It'll be my first time out of the country, so I have to get my passport.
Yeah, because there's a stat, right, that only like 40% of Americans like have a passport. But I suppose when your country's so big, you don't really need one. It's like you can go anywhere. So yeah, nice. No, that'd be cool. I've never done the islands. I've been to Mexico, but I'd love to go down there. But I know that time of year is pretty. It's a bit of a attraction that time of year because it's pretty damn hot. So it's a cool time to be going, and a nice way to kind of break your duck of never leaving the country to leave and go on a Caribbean cruise. So yeah, hope you enjoy that. Hope you enjoy. But yeah, back to Lego. When we're talking about like all of these like little sets and that, and like you've got these stores that have all the retired sets. Do you have a dream set? Is there something out there, whether right now or of old, long gone? Is there a set that you think I really want that, and that's my goal one day to get it?
The NES set, either that or the UCS Falcon. Both of those are like dream sets to have one day.
I mean, they're both iconic sets, that's for sure. But yeah, it's everybody always says the Falcon over the Star Destroyer as well.
I think, and I was discussing that in my live on Friday because somebody asked, like, out of the two UCS sets, the Falcon or the Star Destroyer, which one should I get? And I really like the Star Destroyer, but if you're going for something that's more like iconic, like Star Wars, anybody's going to recognize this, it's going to be the Falcon. Because the thing is, if you're like showing off something to somebody, they've never really like seen Star Wars or anything like that, they're going to recognize the Falcon over the Star Destroyer.
Yeah, I would say the two are pretty close, but yeah, I would say it is the Falcon is obviously more. I think what pips it as well is you have a better minifigure collection with the Falcon, whereas the Star Destroyer doesn't have that. And I don't think the Star Destroyer has an interior or like a workable interior either. I think it's just full of Technics parts. But yeah, I always ask this only because I would get the Star Destroyer if I could only get one, and I don't have either. But if I could only get one, I would go for the Star Destroyer. But a lot of, like 90% of everybody else says the Falcon. But there's Aiden backing me up with that one.
Yeah.
But, is there a set, whether inside or outside of Star Wars, that doesn't exist, that you would like to see made?
I feel like I was just thinking about this the other day, and I had an idea, but I don't. Oh, there actually is one. There is one on Lego Ideas I really want made, and it's Howl's Motorized Moving Castle. And that would be so cool to have as a set.
What is that from?
It's from Howl's Moving Castle. It's a Studio Ghibli film. It's also a book. But in any case, it's this like motorized like castle. It moves. It's got a face, and they live in it in this movie. But it would be such a cool set to have. That would be so fun.
I will take your word on that because I never heard of it. But it sounds like a castle with a face that moves.
Hmm.
What more? What more do you want? That sounds. It sounds great for Lego. That's for sure. But
Hmm.
nope, never heard of it. Never heard of it. Is there a? I'm going to ask this because I know I've just seen Dom is in, and Dom answered this, but our good friends Padawan Archer asked the question around the set to be remade. If you could remake one set, did you have an answer? Because I had an answer to that, but everybody else had the same answer. So I was like, well, I'm not going to answer it and do the same answer. But
Oh,
is there an old one that you think, yeah, we need that remade?
that's a hard one. I'm just looking at my sets. I'm trying to figure out like if there's one I'd want remade. Definitely not the land speeder. I'm so mad that they keep wanting to make that. I'm over it. I'm done.
Honestly, I'm so happy that they're doing a UCS one.
No,
As long as they end there, like as long as that's it, like it feels like final culmination and like be done with it. But yeah,
no, I'd really like another rendition of the Naboo Starfighter.
yes,
I'd really like that. I think that would be really cool.
that would be cool. I think the UCS version of that was a little hard done by. I don't think it got, I think it was in a bit of a dark era for Lego Star Wars, and it didn't get the time and effort and attention that it probably deserved. If it was to be made now, it would be a far greater set. So actually, really good shout on that one. What is your trilogy of choice?
Original.
You say your original. Okay. So this is the problem, isn't it? As original trilogy fans, we are blessed with Lego sets. Like there is nothing that stands out. But if you ask somebody who's kind of hard on the prequels,
yeah, they're always going to say that like they're missing out on stuff, and that's kind of the reason I wasn't too hyped about the gunship, because I'm not big on the prequels, so it wasn't really that important to me.
Yeah, exactly that. And do you know what? I feel like it's a bit ugly as well. Like I don't get the gunship like hype. I just think look at it. That is not like the Venator for me. The Venator is fantastic. I love that the Venator, you can see almost like the evolution from the Venator into the Star Destroyer. Make a UCS set that brilliant. I'll go and buy it.
Oh, I thought of another one. I want them to remake the Death Star.
Well, it's only literally just retired.
I want another one.
Okay. Would you? Is that just so you can get it, or would you do something different with it?
Well, I wouldn't have it all open like it was.
So you'd go like UCS Death Star style, where it's got the paneling.
Yeah.
So would you make it display?
I think what would be better is if it was actually like a ball, like an actual ball. It had all the paneling on the outside, and you could open it to see an interior.
So like a hinge, if you hinged it. Yeah. That'd be cool.
Because the thing is, like, I feel like the Death Star that we previously had, it was just kind of, it felt ugly. You know? Yeah, it felt really, really ugly.
And the original UCS set one is so expensive. It's quite cool. Do you know what? That's probably even a little bit ugly as well. Like I don't feel like that was the best effort of that. But yeah, that was damn ugly. But yeah, I totally get that. I could get on board with that. Like a brand new UCS Death Star would be desirable for sure. Do you know what? Now I think about it, there's probably quite a bit we could do from the original trilogies. Like, not even remakes. Like, I've always really wanted the landing platform from Endor, like a really cool big one of those.
They should bring back some of the Endor sets. They haven't done any of those in a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, they could probably. I'm trying to think what have they done? So they did the bunker. They did like the little bunker thing with the Imperial bunker. That was quite a cool set. And they could probably bring that back as like a Master Builder series skill set, like go all in on it. That'd be really cool. What What else you got?
They did the Battle of Endor with all the trees.
Yes, and then obviously the Ewok village. That was pretty cool. As much as I slate on Ewoks, that Ewok village cool. That Ewok village set is cool. It's a really good set with some really good things. Don't we have a UCS ATST? Or are you saying we should redo it?
I don't think we have one.
No, I think we do. I'm sure we do, but it's quite an old set. So maybe it's one of those that we could make better by building it again, using kind of parts that we have now and techniques and all that. But I mean, I still think a Master Builder series scale Jabba's Palace, like a full, because as good as like Jabba's Palace set is, it's a brilliant set, but it doesn't really represent Jabba's Palace. I feel like that would be pretty cool. See, yeah, there is one. I just want a modern and more affordable. I mean, that's the reality, right? They could probably go through a load of age-old sets that are ridiculously priced that nobody can actually really afford anymore, but people really want, and just remake them, just reprint them. That would go down a treat, I'm sure. But I guess we'll find out. I'm trying to think what else have we got. So Endor, yeah, I'm thinking you had the speeder bike one as well, didn't we? But that was like a more of a battle pack kind of thing. That was, yeah, probably not from a lot from Endor, but yeah, original trilogy fans, we are blessed. What's we're seeing? Stevie's in here. We need a UCS buildable Ewok for sure with Ewok noises. 222, absolutely not. Definitely not. And the day that Lego build an Ewok of one of these helmets is the day that I stop collecting the helmets. That's for sure.
I actually really like the helmets. I think they're really cool.
Yeah, they are. I like the idea of them, and I like they're very sustainable from a Lego perspective. They have the ability, obviously, there's so many people in Star Wars who wear helmets. They could just keep churning these out for years as long as they don't overdo it. It's a good idea.
Well, there's so many helmets they can do. Like, there's so many they haven't done yet.
Well, we're getting Mandalorian next year. We're getting Dinjarin. Dinjarin.
But yeah, like there's so many sets. Like we still have Kylo Ren's helmet that they can make. They've still got like a bunch of the different trooper helmets they can make.
Yeah. So you've got all of the like variants of Imperials. The Snowtrooper one would be really cool, which I think was heavily rumored.
I'd also like to see a Sith Trooper helmet. I think that would be really cool.
It would look awesome as because with it being red, it would absolutely pop. It would look good. I agree. Who knows? I mean, as I say, hopefully they don't go mad on it and just flood the market to the point where everybody can't keep up or get sick of them. And we get like, what, 3 a year would be brilliant. Let's just do 3 a year. And people can keep up, collect them, and go from there. I'd be cool with that. I'd be cool with that. From a Star Wars perspective, moving a little bit away from Lego, we're in a bit of a dead period now where nothing's kind of coming movie-wise, but we're getting all the TV stuff coming. What are you most looking forward to in that?
I'm looking forward to the Kenobi series.
Are you? Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be awesome. What are you hoping for out of that?
I just want to see like what happened in between, like episode 6 and not episode 6, but episodes 3 and 4, primarily.
Would you like to see Kenobi and Vader meet again?
Yes.
Would you? Interesting. I feel like
there's no way they went all that time and they didn't meet again. There's no way.
Well, I would say otherwise, because the only way it would work is if Kenobi leaves Tatooine, because if Vader comes to Tatooine, he finds Luke, like that just happens. Because there's no way he doesn't go back to the Lars homestead.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel, I don't know, because do you read any of the comic books?
Mm-mm.
So there's a Star Wars comic series that is set between Star Wars and New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, and it fills a lot of that gap in. There's then another one that's currently running that's set between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. But in the prior, Luke goes back to Tatooine and he finds Kenobi's diary, and Kenobi basically diarizes everything in his journal from basically that period of time. And at no point does he ever kind of reference it. And now that is kind of canon material. Now, at the same time, they're not against retconning a canon comic. They're happy to kind of say, like, let's move on from that. And it doesn't say they don't meet. It just doesn't say that they do. But I feel like that would be in there. But again, it's my OCD. It's not that I don't want it to happen. It's more that, like, I'm like, it's been written. It can't happen now. It can't happen. But yeah, it is nonetheless, it's going to be awesome. But I would love to see, because we're getting the Ahsoka series as well, and I would love to see.
Oh, I am very excited about the Ahsoka series too.
And Hayden signed up to it as well. So he's going to be in that, which is interesting. And will we see Hayden as Force Ghost Anakin rather than?
I'm so excited to see Hayden in something again. Like,
yeah,
as much as the prequels were kind of like just icky, he did a very good job at portraying Anakin. He did the best with what he had script-wise.
Yeah, I feel like, and I was talking to somebody a couple of weeks ago about this. And whenever you watch any of the kind of the making of footage and you see like the behind the scenes stuff, you see how different he is behind the camera.
It's literally, he did the best he could with both direction and script.
Yeah.
But he loved that role. He still loves that role, you know?
And I feel like this could be it could be what really just kind of reignites him in that sense and gives him that kind of glory that he deserves. Because I do feel for him, and I did feel for him back then, because a lot of people now are like, oh, Disney's ruined Star Wars. Like, they don't know how good they've got it. Like, it's never been a better time to be a Star Wars fan than right now. And I always think almost George Lucas ruined Star Wars a little bit, because he was so insistent on what it was. And if you've ever seen the original trilogy, and then you saw what he did just before they did the prequels, when he digitally remastered everything, and you're like, what on earth is this? What have you done, George?
Yeah, thankfully my parents still have the original VHS. So
Nice.
prior to the digital remaster, thank goodness.
Yeah.
But yeah, the digital remaster was just bad.
What did he do? Yeah, and that for me, I was like happy for him to go. I think the problems with the sequels were elsewhere. I don't think they'll make those issues again. I don't think they'll make those mistakes again. And I think going forward, it'll be pretty cool. I think I'm really interested to see what they've got going forward. Just say hello to a fellow nerd and a former guest there. Just
Hi, Ellie.
Ellie, how posy do you look on this picture, by the way? Just it's very unlike you. You're usually a lot more kind of like in the moment, but never mind. This, by the way, Brick Pit, is a fantastic shout. So the Naboo starship, the fact that it's never even been. So actually, are we seeing the Royal Starship? That's like Padme's ship, right? The Nubian.
Yeah.
From, like, how has that never been made as a Lego set?
I would love to know.
We need that. We definitely need that. I think that's a great shout, Brick Pit. I've said that in the past, but yeah, how has that never been made? And maybe it's because the Phantom Menace is actually really good for Lego sets, whereas like what we're seeing, like others aren't. But yeah, I think What a show that would be. But Ellie has the mock of it as well. But yeah, next, before we even get to Kenobi and Ahsoka, we have Book of Boba Fett. You excited for that?
I am. Not as much as I'm excited for the Kenobi series, but I am excited about that one.
I think, did you see the trailer this week?
I have not seen the trailer yet. Don't hate me.
So, no. There's no judgment here. It's one of those that I don't think the trailer will actually change your opinion on any of that. Like it's not a trailer where you're like, oh my god, like this is awesome. I can't wait for this. But I think that's a good thing. I think it's one of those that you don't, and I did a short video on this, but I don't think it's one of those things that you really want to experience through the trailer. You want to experience it like we did. This is for me what The Mandalorian did so well. The trailer basically gave us nothing for that season 2 trailer. And then the series was just so good. So hoping we're going to get that. But yeah, definitely we'll see. We'll see on that. But Ellie, if that's the case, then that one's definitely for me because I'm a Boba fanboy and that. And anxious on how the story will go a little bit. I think I was talking to someone about this. Are they going to bring him back just to kill him? Because I think it's confirmed as like a one-off series. And are they going to bring him back to almost give him a heroic death rather than a villainous death that he got in Jedi? But I guess we'll find out. And do they use Boba to set up like the next person, the next character? Like he will tutor someone, he will mentor someone, he dies, potentially saving them, and then that's the kind of the next round on it. But yeah, who knows? We'll see. But yeah, I think next year is going to be a good one for that. But we need more films. I feel like we need, like, Star Wars isn't the same if you're not building them around a film. Like,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
it's time.
It is indeed. How long has Rise of Skywalker been now? Like 3 years?
I think so. Yeah, 2018.
Yeah, I definitely think we need something else in that respect. Aiden, what are you saying? Okay, got you. But yeah, I think when you look at how good like Marvel are doing with that kind of constant stream, like it feels like they just have their forever after planned out. They know what they're going to make, when they're going to make it. They understand which TV shows slot into it. And then they're all part of the big Disney family now. You'd like to think that they would learn from that and be like, okay, let's kind of build a 5-year, 10-year plan and let's start kind of like what TV shows fit into what. Whereas feels like with Star Wars, it's like everything's just like, yeah, let's make it and then go from there. Yeah. But I'm very as a Lego fan. No, it's almost like we want to make this, so we'll make it. But as a Lego fan, I do think it's good because what are we going to get from a Lego perspective with all of these things? And again, don't know if you've seen the leak, but Lego did a small leak this week of Lego Boba Fett sat on the Lego Jabba's palace or Boba Fett's throne. Did you see that?
Yeah, I think I saw that.
But then everybody's like losing their shit over it because they're like, oh yes, we are getting. I think it was pretty obvious we were going to get Boba Fett's palace. It was another one of those worst kept secrets. But at the same time, I don't think it's going to be what people expect either. So I guess we'll find out. As from a Lego set perspective, Kenobi, what would you like?
I mean, it really depends on where they go with the Kenobi show. You know? Because the thing is, like, if it's more like adventure-based, kind of like how Aiden was saying Mandalorian Bad Batch are, we could just get a bunch of, like, play-scale sets.
Yeah.
But it depends on where they go, if it's actually more of, like, an overarching story or if it's just adventures until the end. it kind of influences how the Lego sets are going to be.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get any UCS sets out of it.
No,
I don't think we'll get that at all. I don't think they're really looking to do that whatsoever on any of the TV show stuff. But yeah, obviously we've got Obi-Wan's hut. Do you do a larger version of that? Probably not. I still think the Lars Homestead will be a good one, but who knows? Do you know what? Let's just enjoy the show and talk about it when it all comes out, and we'll go from there. And we've got Book of Boba Fett to come first. So, well, I don't know what you're talking about, Ellie. I don't know what you're talking about. She comes in here and she just tracks everything. I do collect player skill sets, but I'm switching, so let's be done with that. But Jessie, we are coming to the end of our time here, and it's been awesome to chat with you, because you're one of these people that connected with for such a long time. We kind of speak behind the scenes in groups and all of that, so it's nice to just kind of finally get to speak to you and just have a bit of a conversation and get to know, first and foremost, to get you to know you a little bit better, but also to give our collective community a bit of a chance to get to know you better as well, because we only kind of see that within that regards. But we touched on it a little bit earlier, but what are your kind of plans for the rest of the year as far as Lego, Star Wars, TikTok, and all of that is concerned? Where can people find you if they're not following you already? And what can they expect from you?
Well, if you're not following me already, you can follow me at MiniCoolJessie, which is here, on Instagram and TikTok. And it's the same at MiniCoolJessie. I'm on Instagram and TikTok with that. I need to get another shelf to replace that and make it taller, so I've got more space to put stuff. I'm eventually going to build my light cruiser one day. I've had it sitting since May 4th. And I'll get it one day. I'll get it built. But yeah, the next mission is definitely to get another shelf so that I can continue to display things. And I'm going to keep building Lego, keep going live on TikTok, and have a good old time.
Fantastic. I don't know what you do for work, and I won't ask you because you might not want to share, but will your work give you much time off over Christmas and New Year? Will you be around much?
Oh, I'm actually kind of mad at work right now because of that.
Oh, damn.
So I work at a help desk. And that help desk, they have us on call every 6 weeks. And I'm on call on Christmas week this year.
Does that include Christmas Day?
It includes Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, the entire weekend.
Damn.
Yeah. So I'm a little bummed about that because Christmas is my favorite holiday. And I have to work. Yeah. So everybody else is off except for me.
Do you get time off after Christmas?
No? Well, I took PTO after Christmas, so the 27th and the 28th I'm off. Technically, it's not an actual work day, so to speak, so our company is closed, but there are drivers that we work with that may or may not be working that day, and if they need help, they need to be able to call us for help, and that's what my job is.
So will you work from home?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I work remote, so I work from home anyway.
Okay. That's fine. I'm just thinking like that could be even worse because you start to settle down on Christmas Day. And
like whenever I'm with family, I'll have to bring that work phone and my laptop with me to whatever function I go to.
Oh, that sucks.
I'm not excited.
Oh, I wish I'd never asked now. I feel bad for asking. So where I was going with that is, do you have any downtime over Christmas? Christmas is a great time, obviously, from a community perspective to get live. I don't know if you were around on TikTok last Christmas, but it was a brilliant time for Lego. Everybody's getting Lego. Everybody's going live. Can people? I
actually wasn't. So I started really taking off on TikTok in around February of last year.
Okay, you've done a good job. You've done a great job to get here. but enjoy Christmas on TikTok. It is, if it's anything like last year, it's quite a cool place to be. And I think a lot of people grew a lot very quick because everybody was just in very good spirits and kind of sharing the Lego world. But yeah, sorry I asked about that, and I hope nonetheless that you do have a good Christmas. Hopefully you don't get cold. Hopefully.
Yeah. Cross your fingers, everybody.
But I will. Do you have like a link tree or a beacons or anything you use?
I do. It's a link tree, and it's MiniCoolJessie.
Cool. I will link that in the description below. So sorry if you're watching live, but thank you for watching live. It's not there now, but obviously you can find MiniCoolJessie on TikTok and Instagram. If you're watching later, thank you for coming back and watching later. I will link Jessie's link tree below for you in the description. So feel free to check her out. And I feel like as well, we should all, I'm going to make a note and we all have to wish you a Merry Christmas on Christmas Day, because like you'll be bumming out so hard because you'll be working. So we'll be thinking about you when it's 11 a.m. and I'm on my third glass of wine. I'll be thinking about you, Jessie.
Oh, that's the worst part is I can't drink because I'll technically be on call.
Oh,
that's the worst part. No alcohol for me on Christmas.
Damn.
Sad.
Sorry. Aiden, we love you too. Brixton, we love you
too.
I
love you guys.
Jessie, it has been a pleasure to have you on. I don't know if you know, but the plan for the future with me with this is I'm basically, as I said, I'm using this as an opportunity to introduce people from my community to my broader community, just to show a different side of people so people can get to know us as creators a little bit more. But then as we get a little bit further down the line and we've kind of introduced everybody, I want to then start bringing groups together to kind of start having conversations. And that's kind of the future of it, whatever those conversations may be. So if you're up for it down the line, I'd love to have you back on. And
yeah, absolutely.
Some stuff with some friends. Fantastic. Glad you enjoyed it. To everybody else, thank you for tuning in. Same bat time, same bat place next week. Do you know who we've got on next week? Would you like to know who we've got on next week, Jessie?
I would love to know who you got on.
I'll give you a clue. You'll probably get it in one. Mr. Wine Drinker himself.
Oh, the wine drinker, man. You're going to have fun with that. Is he going to drink wine during your
I hope so. I hope so. Although he is in New Jersey, so he's like 5 hours behind. So it'll be like 3 p.m. for him. You know what?
That hasn't stopped him before.
Yeah, well, this is a good point, isn't it? It is a good point. So we shall see. We shall see. But for the rest of you, it is looking very likely my guest next week will be the one and only Mr. Matticus Bricks himself, which I'm very excited for. Again, spoke a lot with Matticus offline, but I think I've spoke to him once on a TikTok live. But yeah, I need to get into it. And we need to explore his taste of wine more than anything else. And he better have a dry.
I would love to just like talk wine with him one day because I love wine. Wine's great.
Well, you know what? Maybe so we'll do the Matticus introduction next week, and then I'll host a wine episode. Forget Lego, forget Star Wars.
But we'll
just do a wine episode.
Missouri actually has a ton of wineries in our state, like a ton.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know, I love wine, and for a long time, American wine was a bit like, but American wine is coming through like pretty well now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just Californian wine, which was obviously the more popular and more commonly known. Like there are some good wines coming through. So yes, if you know any good wines that you would like to refer, please let me know, because I'm always happy to try a wine. but yes, let's keep that. Make a note of them, and let's keep that for the wine episode of the Opie-verse. Because why the hell not? It's my show. I can do whatever I want. If I want to talk about wine with my American friends, that's what I'm going to do. But yes. But thank you, everyone. Jessie, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on. Look forward to seeing you soon. I'll look forward to seeing you on live if I do catch you, because there's always this time difference. But I do tend to see you live, so that's a good thing. But yes, thank you, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you may be. Have a good day. See you. Bye, Jessie.
Bye.
You go away. Keep